you want to introduce us?
All right.
Or do you want?
Cool. All right, guys, we're going to get started. We have Ariat here. We're going to have lunch coming in for the Missouri folks. We're streaming live. Rumor has it we're going to have a little prize for some detailed questions here. So thanks for joining. We have Tim, VP of Sales, and one more time with your name.
Heath Hunter. Yep.
Heath Hunter. Okay, so please ask questions. Make it interactive. I know this is a new product line for some of us, and for others, especially virtually, it's been around the block. But hopefully, we can learn a little bit more. Thanks.
Yeah, excellent, perfect.
Yeah.
So I just want to, first of all, we really appreciate the opportunity to be here. You guys, in a very short period of time, have done a lot of business with us. So we can't tell you how much we appreciate all the business you've done with us, right? So thank you very much. We're more FR than anything, right? So we had a really good meeting with your senior team, and we're going to look at how we can build the business in other directions. But I want to introduce Heath Hunter. Heath has been in the FR industry for his entire life. Heath is one of the leaders when it comes to fabrications and products. Heath is so well known in this industry. He continues to remind me, so I have to keep giving him raises so he doesn't leave. No, I'm just kidding. But he's
that's true.
He's so knowledgeable. So here's the thing. Ask questions. If you can stump him, you get a free boot gift card if he can't answer it. And I'll be the judge whether it's a good answer or not, all right? Even anybody on virtual, if you have any questions, please ask Heath. He's really, really smart. But I want to just start with the first question. And this is for a
boot card.
Boot card,
yeah.
Free boot.
Free pair of boots.
And it's the first person here
and the first person online
that has the right answer, and the first person virtually has the right answer. How does the name Ariat come together? Where's that name derived from? France?
Yeah.
Good guess. Anybody else? Anybody on virtual? Anybody?
I'm checking.
Come on.
They might have an unfair advantage.
Oh,
yeah, that's true.
That's okay.
That a boy, smart man.
We don't look as good.
You guys do have a phone. You guys do have phones that put under the table.
No. Nope.
Right there.
Who got it?
There you go.
What? Secretariat, right? You ever hear of the horse Secretariat? Triple Crown winner, 51 years ago. Still holds records, right? For the fastest, right? So the woman who started our company took the last 5 letters of Secretariat, and she named the company Ariat. So who gets the gift card?
That gentleman right there. I just
All
hooked him
right,
up.
congratulations. I'm not sure it works, but if it doesn't, whatever. All
yeah,
right.
they're expired.
Expired 5 years.
So I'm going to hand it off to Heath. He's put together these documents for you. You can take notes, keep these things, but there's a lot of good information in here that you hopefully can take away and use. So Heath,
yeah, thanks, Tim.
it's all yours.
I'm not as smart as he says. We're all legends in our own mind, right? So, but I have been doing it a long time. And but I do, as Tim said, we appreciate you guys a ton. You guys have done tremendous. So how many are familiar with FRAR for the most part? All right, good. So I don't want to bore you. I'll try not to bore you too much on some of the specifications, but I do want to go through some of them, what drives it. So this business has been extremely, really well for us, and I think it's been well for the industry. I think it does a tremendous job to save lives. I know you guys do a lot in the power gen, the wind side of the business, which is heavy, but I want to focus more on a couple more of the trends that are taking place in the FR business. We from a company, from Ariat, we got in this 10, 11 years ago. Historically been a boot company, and then we launched into FR and the Western apparel, then to FR, and now into workwear. We'll talk a little bit briefly about rebar, but we came on the market way different than our competition. If you talk to the end user, if you talk to somebody that has to wear FR, historically, it was awful. It was hot. It was like wearing a garbage bag around all day long. It was either navy or if it was faded navy. And that's about all the options were. And it was awful. So as we came in the marketplace, we didn't want to be a high-priced Me Too. We said, hey, we just don't want to have, if we come in the market and just do another navy shirt, another high-end, another hot fabric, we're just going to be the highest priced navy shirt that's out there. We're only going to grab the business, that people that are really loyal to the brand. So we went with a different approach. And you're going to see it, and maybe you see it in the product that you sell with us today. We went with a fashion, a fit, performance. Because we're like, hey, if it's mandated by law in the oil and gas sector, which is the standard 2112, you see it on the garment, and if it's mandated in the utility sector, they can't go to work without that. And as this younger generation kind of comes into the marketplace, they're used to stretch. All they know is stretch. They grew up, my son and my daughters, what do you mean stretch? We have stretch in everything we have. I mean, it should have stretch. And we thought, why can't we take FR product? Why can't we get the fit right in denim? And I've been doing this a long time. So the previous company I worked for way back in the day, I was going to leave the house. I live in Michigan, and I was going to wear our FR. Obviously, I should wear our product if I was going to sell it, right? So I was like, I'm going to throw these jeans on. Well, I'm not the tallest guy in the world, right? So I put them on, and literally, no joke, the waist came past my belly button. And luckily, I had a really good wife who was like, you're not leaving the house with that on. And I was like, yeah, you're probably right. This is pretty bad. And so Ariat got it right. So you guys sell really major 3 jeans for us right now based on fits. And I want to explain a little bit about that, what that did. So when we came into the marketplace, you guys carry a shale and a flint. It's a 13-ounce ring spun denim. Does anybody know what ring spun versus OE is in denim? You're going to learn something today. All right, so anybody selling FR for a long time, been in the space for a long time, know a little about it? Historically, back in the day, all of our competitors, or basically the whole industry from a fabric perspective, carried what's called OE, open-ended denim. And they were heavy. You can look at a pair of OE denim and you can see the difference, and I'll explain it to you in a second. But OE denim was usually around like 14.75 ounces. It was very heavy. They oversized the garment because they were planning for it to shrink. But the problem is when it's 100 degrees out and you're in Texas and it's 105 and you're wearing 14.57 ounce denim and you're sweating your butt off, that denim becomes 18 ounces and you start to see the sag and it starts to drag on the backside, right? So we said, well, when we went to the fabric manufacturers, which we know extremely well over the years, we said, hey, what are you guys selling to Buckle? What are you selling to whatever these other brands? And they're like, oh, this denim. And we said, why can't you make that FR? If these guys are mandated and these ladies are mandated by law to wear it, why don't we take that denim and make it FR? And they're like, we've never done that. And Ariat pushed them to innovate and pushed them to do something different. And that's what you'll see now. So this is one of the denims that you guys carry. It's a 13-ounce denim. And what this is, if you can see in the garment, you see like those striations in the garment. Like that's what ring spun in. So basically it's a little more labor intensive on the front end side of making the fabric. Instead of just leaving the denim open-ended like this so it collects sweat, we take it and we spin the yarn. And then we weave it into the denim process. So then you're able to take the weight down of the garment, because if you hear anything, if you talk to any end user, it's not getting any cooler out there. The main things they tell you is, can you get me something cooler? And you can get me something lighter? And can it meet the cal ratings or the specs that I need to meet? That's all we hear in the marketplace. We spend a ton of time. So we started with our 13-ounce legacy denim, made it into a ring spun denim. Obviously, we add all of the contrasting stitching, because at the end of the day, we want them to go to work, feel proud about what they do, feel confident in what they're wearing. And at the end of the day, most of the men or ladies, they're going to leave their job, they're going to go to the kids' ball game, they're going to go to dinner, they're going to go to the bar, wherever they're going to go, and they want to feel confident in what they're wearing. And everybody likes to look good when you wear things, and we feel the same way when it comes to PPE, when it comes to the marketplace. So that's what we did. We took a ring spun and we made it. So then, as that kind of grew and blew up in the business, and we got the fit right. And if you notice, we have multiple fits. If you've ever anybody ever wore our product outside of work or maybe in Western? All right, so if in the Western side, we already had the fit blocks down. We have an M4, which is like a relaxed boot cut, or we have an M5, we have an M7, we have an M8. So all of that consumer that already understood our brand, we carry that right back over into our workwear line, the rebar which you guys carry, and into our FR line. So if you wear an M4 in rebar, you're going to wear an M4 in Western, you're going to wear an M4 in the FR. We made it super easy. So if you think about back in the day of Levi's 501 and all of that, we did the same thing across the business. So it made it super easy for you as salespeople to go out into the field and sell it. And then we just made it look way better, right? So we are probably in 95% of all utilities today in some capacity wearing our denim. We're the largest denim provider in North America when it comes to the FR piece. We sell a lot of denim, a lot. And, we continue to add different things. We have, I can't remember, 26 styles of FR denim today. But what we'll do is we'll add laser tacking to it. We will hand sand this denim at the factory level. So we spent a lot of time and a quality to make sure that that consumer really enjoys what he wears and he feels confident in it. And we do really well. So not only that, just from a fashion pocket perspective, just to use some of your examples from your lobby, then we add different fashion pockets to it. Some guys care about this kind of stuff. It's actually a really big deal. They love that they have different options out there and fits. So know that. So then we also said, all right, we need to take this denim and we need to make it lighter. You guys don't carry our lightweight denim yet, but I highly, highly recommend it. It's an 11 ounce and it's still high cal rating. So farthest, there's a difference. So 13 ounce does really good on abrasion and wearability and longevity. The lower ounce you go on anything, what's going to happen? It's going to wear out, right? However, but if you're in a really, really hot climate, if you have customers, you have end users in really, really hot climate, what we see a lot of them doing, let's say they get an allowance. They get, X amount of dollars to buy per year. They split their allowance up. They do half lightweight for the summer months, and as fall and winter comes from them, it's not like my winter in Michigan. Then they do half 13 ounce. And then they have an option to cover them throughout the winter. So we have a massive amount of denim and so on so we can cover you. But I want to make sure you understood the uniqueness of our denim, which is a big portion for you guys, that we focus heavy on ring spun. We push our fabric providers. And most of the time we own exclusivity on these denims because we're pushing them to think differently. We're pushing them to make new product. We just don't want to carry the same thing that Wrangler's carrying or whoever down the list, XYZ brand, and we're making them do something different. But any questions on that on the denim side? There's no dumb questions, I promise you.
Does that affect how breathable it is at all?
No, actually, no, it doesn't. What it does a couple things. It makes it lighter weight. Denim in itself is not super breathable, right? The problem. But what it allows us to do by doing the ring spun, it allows us to keep the cal rating really high. Because you probably get asked if you're dealing with end users, what is the cal rating? They have a certain requirement that they do. Like that denim, that 13 ounce, is a 20 cal. You can put that in any facility and be covered across the board. So if we did 14.75 ounce denim, your cal would be lower. Because we tighten that denim, it stops the breakthrough, which causes makes your cal rating, is how you measure your cal rating. It's the breakthrough piece in case an explosion happened, a flash fire, an arc flash took place. Yeah, but the lightweight allows you to get to a lighter weight. But denim itself, historically, is not super breathable. But I would say highly recommend push your accounts to do half and half because it helps them in those hot climates.
How does FR and wash?
Great question. Yeah, great question. So all of our FR, it doesn't wash out. It's guaranteed for the life of the fabric. So there's two types of processes when it comes to FR. You guys will hear treated. You ever heard that word treated FR? We have a split. Half of our business is treated FR, so either treated cotton or a blend. So that means that we work with the fabric provider. They use an ammonia cure process. When the fabric is being made, we impregnate the fiber. So we don't do a topical spray or nothing like that, like some of that overseas stuff, which will wash out and is dangerous. We're all UL certified. We have to go through all of the testing process, but we impregnate the fiber. So that means you can wash this garment for its entirety, and it will always be FR. You cannot wash it out. You'll actually have to retire the garment. It means it'll fall apart. You have holes. There'll be break open areas before you ever have to worry about the integrity of the garment from us. And then there's also another technical piece when it comes to the treatment process. You might know what inherent is.
Built in.
Yeah, it's built in. So if you have a cotton, and let me tell you the difference to make it really simple. Treated cotton is cheaper. Inherent garments are more expensive. They both do the same. Now, if a fabric guy ever trains you, because I've been doing this all my career, I'm going to help you on the spin. He's going to tell you inherent garments are better. You know why he's going to tell you that? Because he sells inherent garments. They are exactly the same. Now, they have different properties into it. We can be a little more creative on the fibers that we blend together and the composition of the garment. But at the end of the day, they meet the same standard. One's more expensive than the other. Now, on treated cotton, we can only go to a certain ounce, probably about a 6 ounce on a shirt, and past 8 cal, which is category 2, which is majority of your customers want to be at cat 2 or higher. 6 ounces is as low as we go on treated. Now, on inherents, because of the fiber contents, We can get down to like 5.3, 5.1, but that's about as low as we can go before you start seeing the integrity of the garment be impacted from wear. And it's more expensive. So if you're wearing something that's really lightweight, it's great, but if it wears out really fast and it's expensive, it becomes really troubling for the consumer. Any other questions on that? Denim makes sense? Tim, please.
We use ring spun.
Correct?
What does our competitors use?
Most of them use OE,
Okay.
open-ended.
Can you tell the team what's more durable?
Ring spun, hands down.
And why is that?
Because the yarn is each individual yarn is twisted and then woven together. So it's going to hold that durability and abrasion way much better.
So if your customers are looking for something that's durable and will last longer, the ring spun
Is the way to
product
go.
will last longer.
Hands down. And we can send you some follow-up documents to
Yeah.
explain that in like visuals, so it makes it a little bit easier for you guys. It's good. I only focused on denim real quick just because that's a big top seller for you guys. And bottoms business is a very large business. It used to be a coverall world. Coveralls are shrinking by the day, and everything is going to tops and bottoms. So that's extremely important on the ring spun side when you sell that. And again, all the different pocket pieces, all of the different differentiations that we have, all the different fits that we have. You guys really focus on two fits, an M4 and an M3. And in our catalogs, I know you don't have them in front of you today, but in our catalogs, you'll see our fit guide. It'll tell you what it is, the rise, the opening, and so on. So you can educate to the consumer what they're after. If they're a bigger gentleman, he's like, man, I got massive thighs. M3 is perfect because you're going to have an extra inch in the thigh. Right, so it'll tell you in our catalogs, it'll guide you through that process on our fits, which makes it super easy for you to be able to tell them if you're on the phone, if you're having a conversation with them. So, yeah, heavy from a durability on the ring spun side. All right, I want to go over a couple trends, but let me make sure I share this with you. You guys got that sheet in front of you, that kind of binder like there? Let me just explain to you. So we just kind of put this as a simple training guide for you guys together. It's a really great piece. This will kind of cover some of like the technical features or some of the innovations that we see that we focus on. The first one you're going to see here is stretch. Stretch is, we want to put stretch in everything that we can. Any way possible. If anybody, listen, you ladies, let me just give you kudos real quick. You beat us to the stretch game. way, like you guys had leggings way before us, and we were wearing these old crappy jeans. And then the first time I got a pair of stretched jeans, I was like, I ain't ever going back. I ain't ever going back. Thanksgiving is so much better after I eat so much. Get a little extra room there. But stretch is in everything, right? So in FR, let me explain to you. So we use about a 2% stretch in FR, denim, because you want rebound. If you got denim that's outside of FR, and you can get some really crazy stretch stuff out there, 5, 8, 10%. But in FR, we kind of feel like the magic spot is somewhere around 2 to maybe max on 5, but it all depends on the fabric composition. So we want that garment to be washed, worn. We want them walking up and down towers, ladders, whatever they're doing. Feel that mobility when they're bending their knee, but at the same time, we want that product to rebound and come right back so that when they wash it, it fits the same. They constantly have the same fit. You're going to have about a less than 3% shrink in all of our denim because of the ring spun, because the fiber is so tight. If it's OE, it's going to shrink like crazy. All right? So speaking of that, and I know I'm jumping ahead a little bit, I want to make sure you guys know this. If you didn't know this, it's super helpful. When you're selling our stuff, on our hang tags, you see this little QR code? You want to scan it for me? You might win a free car. I'm just kidding. It's the best QR code I've ever scanned. So what this is going to do, you can educate it's going to be all of our wash and care instructions. How to maintain the garment, how to wash the garment, what's the fit guide. Everything is right there. So as you sell to that consumer, as we as a brand that supports you, we want to make sure that they have everything they knew. A safety director is like, well, I don't know what to wash it. It's all on every garment. All he's got to do, tied, it tells them everything what to do. You don't have to have this industrial laundry like the rental people will tell you. That's a myth. It's a true myth. So that's right there for them. So anytime you sell the garment on any of our hang tags, you're going to see that QR code. It's extremely helpful for them to see. Not on the inside, it'll be on the outside tag. The problem is we have so many other tags that we have to do through UL. If we added one more, the guys would kill us because they're like, I can feel them on the back of my neck. So then, I know I got it up on the thing. So then we look at stretch outerwear. So we got stretch into the denim side, then we moved it into the canvas side, and then we put it in some of our knits, And as market demanded us to say, the consumer kept telling us, why can't you guys put stretch in outerwear? And a lot of times, a lot of other brands would do faux stretch, meaning that they would put a stretch maybe in the back panel. Well, that's not really stretch. We wanted to take garments and make them completely fully stretch. So we started launching into our stretch outerwear. We have a Dura Stretch canvas jacket, which I know you guys don't do a lot of outerwear with us. The jacket completely is full FR stretch, which is phenomenal. When you talk about mobility, when you talk about climbing, we see it in the utility sector when these guys are in buckets or they got to climb a pole and they don't want this big, bulky jacket on. They want to be able to layer and get warmth, but have stretch to be able to have mobility, because the bigger and bulky you are, the more hazard risk you become. You're going to hurt yourself. You're going to kill yourself. You're doing a lot of electricity. So trends in the space that are really crushing for us, obviously, is stretch. We talked a little bit about the DuraStretch denim. Oops, let me go up here. Primo fleece. So I will tell you, our mid layers are literally just as good as you would buy them buying a North Face, and you wouldn't even know it FR. I'll tell you a quick little story. I got 4 kids. We had launched this product. You guys know when I say 2112, I want to make sure what that means. That's on the outside of the garment. That is the oil and gas standard. We have to visually put that on the garment. Then you'll see 70E on the garment. Well, we had this really beautiful, like quarter zip, super heavy, 5-6% stretch, like hoodie, all contrasting stitching. You'd think you'd bought it at the store. And my little girl, she's like 11 at the time. She's like, Dad, can I wear that to school? That's awesome. I was like, yeah, I don't care. I didn't tell her nothing. I was like, just wear it. Yeah, no big deal. So she gets to school, she comes back, and she's like, man, all the kids are loving it. They're like, the new 2112 line you guys are launching? I'm like, 2112 line? We don't have a 2112. Like, what are you talking about? She's like, yeah, the 2112. I was like, honey, that's an FR garment. I'm like, if you caught on fire at school, you would self-extinguish. That's about it. But they thought, super cool that Ariat's launching this 2112 line. And it really is just a standard, right? But my point is, it was so good and so comfortable to her, she just thought it was everyday daily wear. And that is our intention. Where we would become extremely valuable to you guys from a technical perspective or from a product perspective is we want to make sure that these men and women feel so confident in what they wear that they wear it outside of work. They wear it when they come home. You don't have to argue over shirts that are tough and starchy and rubbing and just causing all kinds of pain. So that's why we put a lot of time and effort into our quality and as well to our stretch. So that's the Primo collection. You guys will see. Hopefully you guys get a part of that. And then here comes some of the standards. Just kind of goes weird, don't it? You'll see the standards in there. We want to make sure we just put them in there. Tim and I just put there for the standpoint to make sure you guys felt comfortable. If you guys ever need more training on the standards and what they need, if you have an end user asking for outside of, is this compliant? So to make it simple, all of our product is Cat 2 and 2112 compliant, dual certified. Means you could sell it in a utility place, you can sell it on an oil and gas place. You could sell it in arc flash, or you could sell it in flash fire. Those are the two separates. So it doesn't matter where it's at. The only thing that is not Cat 2 in our catalog is going to be a base layer. So it's going to be a category 1. That means like it's really low ounce, but they wear it as an undershirt underneath a garment. Does that make sense? Okay, so 99.8% of our product is selling in the industry. And we work really hard to make sure that the fabrics we choose and the products we pick can be dual certified, so no matter where you got to sell it, we got you protected. And then you'll see some of the other ones, and these are just good to know for your benefit because some of your end users are extremely smart, and if they're safety people, they want to know some of the ASTM 1506 data, and that's just like the testing. So I'll just, I can't, it keeps going how the thing does. It doesn't matter. It's in your thing. It's good. If you need data outside of you don't get from us from Cal Radiance or whatever, reach out to one of us. We have all the testing data. We share it with end users all the time. Some of the safety guys want to know what our body burn is for 2112, or they want to know what the arc rating is, or the arc test that we have to do in 1506. We have all of that data. Share it with you. It's all on UL. We're happy to give it to you. Does that make sense? Let me try to blow through here a little bit, Timmy. And then some of our other technology. We pride ourselves on being the most innovative company out there. We want to bring newness to marketplace. We want to put, whether it's UV protection in it, we want to do anything we can to continue to drive innovations. In that list, you'll see all of our technical capabilities, and you see all of our features and benefits that we offer into our garments. We call them out, whether it's the greater arm mobility, and we make sure that when you raise your hand, your shirt's not coming untucked. All of these little attention to details that we're doing when it comes to our garment to make sure that our product is superior in the marketplace. Make sense? All right. Trying to think if there's anything else. Here's garments. I put these in here. The most 10 frequently asked questions that you might get when it comes to our garments. This is actually a really good piece for you guys just to keep in the back of your mind. You're going to hear it. One of you guys asked it earlier. You know, we don't recommend doing dry cleaning on the garments. You can, but you shouldn't do it over for a longest period of time. If you go to Texas, those guys like to wear their jeans a certain way. A good old crease right down the middle. They want to starch them jeans as much as possible. And this is going to be, and we tell them, like, guys, we don't recommend, it doesn't matter. They do it anyways. Now, will they be okay in the event of an incident? Yes, but we just don't recommend it. So you'll see all of those kind of P things here, whether it comes to, you know, dry, tumbling on low heat and stuff like that. All of that, actually, that we're talking about is in that QR code that you guys have access to, that you can point your consumers to. We're the only brand doing that to make it simple. Before you, I mean, all the other brands, you have to go on their website. We just make it as simple as possible. Most people are decentralized. They're traveling. They're going from job to job to job. We're going to make it simple if they're washing their clothes at the hotel or if their wife's washing their clothes at home. It's all about ease. Your service that you guys offer is ease of ordering, right? Make it easy. We're going to carry your product. We're going to ship it. We're going to embroider it. We want to do the same thing on the FR front when it comes to wash and care, or whether it comes to garments. So those are all the wash and care instructions for you guys to have. And then all of this, different questions, you know, what does FR stand for? What does CAT stand for? All of these, I mean, listen, if you don't know much about FR, these are great reading for you. These are tremendous opportunities for you guys just to dig through. You probably already know most of the answers today. But again, if anything, it's a refresher. I think there's about it out of it. And then, obviously, I just showed you guys the QR code on all of our hang tags and everything back there. You've seen that already. All of our sizing is in the back here, so you guys can look from a sizing perspective. This is just a quick overview. In the catalog, you're going to have more in depth of kind of by fits and stuff like that, but it's there for you equally as well. What else can we answer for you from maybe we didn't cover? I know we got a short time because we got footwear to go over next. What can we cover? Yeah.
Is there restrictions if you embroider?
Great question. Great question. So there is a standard out there that they say it should not be bigger than a playing card. Now, the question then becomes is, do you have to use FR thread or can you use normal thread? Anybody know? Normal, unless your customer specifies it. Unless your customer specifies it. You can use normal thread. Because most of the time, let's just use for example, if an arc flash took place, if there's a patch on there or if a thread, most of it, it's not going to expose, it's not exposed to the skin, so it's not going to hurt you. So a lot of companies will just say, hey, if you do FR threads, it's triple the cost, right, to put FR thread. We use screen printing on a lot of our stuff too, because there's not a standard. We don't have to because it's on the outside. It doesn't have to be an FR screen print. So you don't have to use FR thread to answer your question unless the company specifies it. Do you have a question?
I have a couple. Can you ship direct or no?
Can you ship direct? Meaning
Like, you
drop ship?
Yeah, drop ship.
So we can ship drop ship, but I think how I don't know what the agreement is with these guys, so we can get back to you with Charlie. But I think you can drop ship. We're just not the greatest at drop ship. Just want to be clear. Yeah.
No, that's great. And then you mentioned why are you guys so prevalent in utility? Is it like a culture thing? Is it like a fit thing? Is it
Yeah.
like,
It's a great question.
how does that compare to like construction?
Yeah, it's a great question. So obviously, when we got into the business, because we're so heavy in Texas, Oklahoma, the brand is really, really strong. We went really after the oil and gas industry, right? And most of our products is at the midstream and the downstream side. So we don't really play at the wellhead because it's very price sensitive. If you think about a guy on the wellhead, he's literally just drilling, he's covered. He doesn't want to spend a lot of money for some really nice FR pants, right? And then most of the time they're in coveralls because they're pitching them in 30 days. So we spend most of our time at the midstream and the downstream side and the refinery side. Most of that's tops and bottoms business. So we spent most of our time there. And because there was nothing like us in the space, all of these contractors were like, you telling me that's FR? You mean that plaid shirt or that really cool screen print, all of that's FR. They're like, holy cow, I've been wearing navy and light blue all my life. I don't have to look like a gas station worker anymore. I can really, wear something I want to wear. And as we started seeing, because oil and gas can be somewhat cyclical and it can have these downturns, these kind of boom and bust situations, we started saying, hey, we should start going after the utility sector. It's very tops and bottoms business. And we went into the market, and I'll tell you a quick story. Before we really opened some major distributors, we spent about $100,000 in seeding garments. We believe in our product. And we just said, hey, we got all of the major utilities, give me 5 guys, give me 10 guys. We said, tell us what you think. Tell us if you like it, and if you ask a tradesman, they're going to be the most honest guy or gal you've ever met in your life. You're not going to get any kind of. They're going to tell you if it sucks. Let's just be clear. Yeah. So we seeded the market, we pushed it into the marketplace, and we pulled it back through our distribution, and our fits were dead on. Our fits were 100%. So once like anything in those trades, like if you see a tradesman or construction, if a guy starts using Milwaukee, or if a guy wears a certain boot, next thing you know, it spreads like wildfire. And these guys, have you tried these jeans? Oh my God, they fit amazing. Yeah. And that's exactly what took place. And now, like I said, we are very, very, very large in the utility sector.
And speak to what that does for the worker retention.
Yeah, great. It's a great example. Thanks, Charlie. So we were talking a little bit last night. One of the oil and gas guys, it's funny, because we're not cheap, and we don't want to be cheap. In all transparency, we don't want to be bottom feeders. We want to make sure that your customers are happy. You get great margin, you get great commission from our products. And we went to go see an oil and gas friend of mine, been around the space for a long time, and he was losing people to Halliburton for better PPE and about $1 more per hour. And his name's John. I said, John, and I first asked him, I said, what's your biggest challenges before we got into product? He's like, turnover. I was like, oh, shoot, I don't know if I can help you there, And I said, well, what are you giving them? He's like, oh, we're just giving them this cheapest stuff we can get them. I was like, so they're leaving you for PPE and more per hour. I said, why don't you give them what they want to wear? If it's mandated by law, give them what they want to wear. And what's interesting, I said, give us your toughest guys, because there's always a couple, that's your loudest voice. I said, let's do a wear trial. We fund the wear trial. We do the wear trial. We convert. They come back. They're like, oh, my God, this is amazing. He's seen his retention drop drastically. And now that's tangible dollars. That's big money when you drop. Because he's like, after 90 days, I got to train him for 90 days. I'm losing him at 120. And the massive cost savings, he could have probably put 3-4 Ariat programs in there, if not more, just by cutting that retention. And he said morale went up. His calls went down. I don't hear about my jeans. I don't hear about my clothes anymore. I got good boots. Everybody's happy. And that's what we want our brand to do. And we want our product to do in the marketplace. Hopefully that makes sense. Anything else? All right. I know this was brief, and again, we just covered a couple things. We'd love to support you guys. We value you. We appreciate you. Anything we can help you from a technical side, let us know.
So let me just ask you guys, are you all salespeople?
We have sales and some sales support.
Okay, sales and sales support. So as you're chatting with your customers, do you ever get pushback on our product?
I would say it's not really pushback on the product, but they have been so brand loyal for so long that it's working to convince them to move from
Somebody else.
to you all.
So they're using a competitor of ours, right?
Yep.
Do you run into that? It's a good one, right? I mean,
Yeah.
we work with our teams all the time. What are the objections we're hearing, right? What are the things that are stopping them from growing our business? So if that's a really good objection, yeah, they're so used to wearing XYZ brand, right? And our stuff is more expensive, correct? But when Heath talks about the ring spun, right, and the durability and the comfort and the quality and just what we're doing in the product, it makes a big difference, right? So,
Tim, can I real quick let you go?
Yeah.
What I would say, if those opportunities, we said this to Charlie and Robert earlier, and Melissa, if you got a big opportunity you want to convert, like if it's large enough, we'll help fund a wear trial. Like we believe in our product. Like we'll get them on a pair of pants, and then let our product either win or fail.
yeah, we're here to help you guys, right? So if you have an opportunity and they give you that, just let Charlie know, right? We will help you guys get over those. Listen, we're all salespeople too, and we have sales teams. And the biggest thing we try to do is help them overcome those issues, right? What are we hearing that's stopping us from growing? So I guess what I would ask you guys is, do you see opportunity with this brand with your customers? You think we can grow the business with your existing customers?
I don't know how much we do on the e-commerce, and I'm sure that you spoke about it, but I think that would play a huge factor, and then with the Gearport platform,
Yeah.
I'm just keep moving on that.
Just a show of hands, how many have actually worn our product? Would you recommend it?
Yeah.
So, listen, we committed to Charlie and Robert, we want to get you all in our product. We want you to know the quality to be able to talk about it. So that's one of the things we're going to do. We're coming back with you with next steps, and that's one of the things we really want to do for all of you, is to understand the quality, right? So hang with us. We're just starting with you guys. Let me ask you something. Who's familiar with footwear and selling work boots? All right. So how many have sold work boots?
Real quick, just so you know how you bragged on me earlier? This is a shoe dog right here. This guy's been doing this like 23
I'm Al
years.
Bundy.
No, he's not.
Okay.
He knows footwear better than anybody.
How many are familiar with selling footwear?
Couple.
Okay, tell me a little bit about. So are you selling footwear to some of your existing customers now?
No, I haven't sold footwear yet, but I have in the past.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, just selling boots, your customer comes in, they want a soft toe or a composite toe.
Yeah.
Just different varieties that people are looking for. People look for the color, the leather, the stitching, all those things.
Sure.
Yeah.
How many are not selling any footwear right now? A little? Little? Do you have, what we find, and Heath has been in this for a long time, is everyone you're selling apparel to, they wear boots.
Yep.
And as salespeople, we're always looking for new ways to drive revenue, to make more commission, right? To help your customer, right? There's a lot of things we try to do. If you're not asking, what do you guys do for footwear? How do you help your employees get footwear, right? Where are they getting it now? That's really something that's going to open up a door to a lot of opportunities. I'm going to tell you something. It really will. And the most important question you want to ask is, you want to know their environment. What are your people going through right now, right? What kind of environments are they? Inside, are they outside? Are they on rough terrain? Are they on smooth terrain? Once you get an idea of what they're doing, you can then start recommending product, right? Because footwear is like a tool. It's like your Milwaukee tools, right? There's bad tools and there's good tools. And the thing is your feet, when you're on your feet 8, 9, 10, 12 hours a day, it takes a toll on your ankles, your knees, your hips, your back. And if you want to cheap out on it, you're going to feel it. But if you want to spend it and treat it like a tool, I'm going to tell you something. It will make a huge difference in how you feel at the end of the day. We hear this sometimes. It's kind of funny. The biggest complaint people have about our product is the husbands don't want to take it off when they go to bed. Right? So they say, we have fun with that too.
Yeah, we
But
made that up.
the most important thing is when you look at product, it all starts here.
Yep.
The outsole and the shank. And I don't know if we have
See if I can find it.
there's in this
Thank you,
here,
ma'am.
I'm-
Yeah, please.
there's a slide on the shank. Right here. If you look at that page, it's probably halfway through it. Most boots on that wall have a steel shank. It's about the size of my finger, right? Goes up the middle, right? Our product, we do a carbon fork shank.
Had it there for a minute.
And you can see,
No, I'm on the
you can
SO1
see
still.
it's anywhere from 50%
must have. I
to
don't know how I
300% wider than what
There
our
we go.
competitors doing. It's all about
Yeah, thank you.
torsional, I like to call this torsional rigidity. When you take our product and try to twist it, now I'm not that strong. Now Heath can twist it, but you can't twist it. You want stability. It's like building a foundation, a house, right? If you don't build it on a really good foundation, your house is not going to stand up that well.
Thank you.
It's all about the base. It's all about the outsole, durability and support. So I guess what I would say is, as you start making your calls and you're talking to people, you ask them, what are you doing in footwear? Where are your people getting it? Is it something that you support with a voucher? Is it not, right? Because that's a really important piece. So the stability in the outsole is really what it's about. Once you get that right, you're in good shape. So, yeah, so our product, as we try to be innovators when it comes to product. And you only have a few styles, but we have what we call, we love this, what we call U-turn. It's one of our most popular technologies. If anybody has ever worn our product, this little cutout piece here, it's a little gasket. What happens when you put a pull-on on is you have to go up a size so that you can get it on and make the turn, right? And then once you get it on, it's a half size too big. It's never snug. So what we did is we put this U-turn in there, so as you pull that boot on, your heel pops it out. It gives you that space to make the turn, and then when you get into that boot, it fits much better. They say, oh, a Western boot has to have slippage. Yeah, that's what the old companies do, not us. It gives you a much better fit, right? So fit is really, really critical. The outsole, the stability, and the fit are the two most important things, and quality. And we were saying this to Charlie earlier, our defective return rate is the lowest in the industry. I'd have to look and see if you have a defective area, but I promise you ours will be lower than everybody else's. Our stuff lasts, right? Our heat resistance here, 300 degrees, right? Our abrasion, 200, I don't want to get into too technical, but they're really abrasive. High carbon content really lasts really, really well. How many people have worn our work boots? Anybody? You've worn our work boots?
He's gonna have some soon.
Oh yeah, no, he's gonna get a Western boot.
Well,
You haven't worn our, okay, we're gonna get product on you guys, right? We want you to feel it. And we do lots of women's and we do a lot of men's. We do steel toe, comp toe. Who knows the difference between a comp toe and a steel toe?
Lightweight,
What's that?
toes lightweight.
Lightweight? Did you?
No, that's basically.
Okay. Also, doesn't conduct heat or cold, right? So if you're in a cold environment, it's not going to get
Yeah,
super
you don't want
cold.
steel toe.
Like steel would. If you're in a hot environment, it's not going to get super hot. Like a steel toe would, right? But there's a lot of different toes. They all pass standards. They all
Yep.
do, right? So you don't have to worry about that. Insoles are important. But at the end of the day, I know this is a new category for you guys, and we believe that we can grow it, is you want to ask that question. Just ask the question. What are you doing? Where are you getting them? Do you help pay? And when you find that out, I'm going to tell you something. It can open the doors. We're available as a resource. That resource we gave you here gives you all of our outsoles, all of our slip ratings, and all that sort of thing. It's a really good, I'd have that with you in case anybody asks you a question. But it's really important.
Hey, Tim, can I add one thing?
Yeah.
So in our catalogs, in our footwear catalogs too, when you open it up and you begin, it first talks about our innovations, it'll talk about our shanks, and then you'll get to a space where we'll focus on work environments. Mm-hmm. And then every work environment, whether it's construction, whether it's chemical resistant, whatever, then it'll show you all of our outsoles that fit in that category. So we make it really, really simple.
Yeah.
So as you open up that, you're talking to a consumer like, oh, these guys are heavy duty, heavy in construction. I know what outsole I need to focus on.
Exactly. Right there.
That makes it really, really simple.
And do you have like, so if the sole is super important and then it goes to like style, like compared to like a low
Like a
ankle
yeah.
work boot to like a cowboy boot, like I literally know nothing. So I was
No.
kind of curious on, like, do you have like the same sole on different styles?
Yeah.
Okay.
Totally.
Yep.
Yeah.
In a lace and a pull on.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we have, I know like telecom is a different industry, but we have some guys
Lace
that
only.
got here climbing yesterday that have like cowboy boots, and then you have some more so with like what I would consider like mountain climbing boots kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like hikers?
Yeah.
Yeah. And hikers are very popular, but not for people. Hikers are kind of an athletic shoes or more for, I would say, factory,
Yeah.
right?
Warehouse.
Yeah, like, there's licenses with Reebok and Converse, and there's a lot of brands out there like do that. And they're just entry-level price point stuff. But back to your question, which is an excellent one, the outsoles are typically the same materials. They're just molded differently, right? But then we have polyurethane. This is a high, what we call this DuraTread. But then you don't have the product here, but we have polyurethanes. Polyurethanes are lighter, very good slip resistance, right? But they don't have quite the durability. They're still durable, but not quite as durable as a high heat, high carbon DuraTread outsole.
Tim, maybe you want to talk about direct attach
Yeah.
versus welted or something.
Sure. When you look at the product, for instance, you can see this is what we call direct attach because they're glued, right? It comes in, it's glued together. It's typically more flexible. It's like an athletic shoe, right? Then the most traditional way is we call this a Goodyear welt, and they stitch it down. They stitch it down, right? So in a product like this, you can actually have resoled, right? If it wears out, you can resole it. Have you ever seen somebody with a boot that has like, it's really flat on one side? You know why? There's no stability.
Yeah.
Right? They're walking on it, and their gait cycle, they hit the heel, and there's no stability. Typically on our product, because of so much stability, the outsole wears much more evenly. So very rarely will you see, and I call it like a flat tire, where that product is kind of like really worn out there. You won't see it in our product. Because when you come down in your gait cycle and you heel strike, that's almost 2 to 3 times your body pressure. So if you weigh 200 pounds, that's almost 400 pounds of pressure coming down on your heel. So when that absorbs it and then you start rolling through, you need stability to keep you straight on the last. And when you stay straighter on the last, it wears much more evenly, and it's better for your ankles, your hips, your back. So that's why it's all about the stability. That's the big part.
If you guys are more on the expensive end, do you think it's pretty common for like companies to do a voucher and then like give the employees a voucher and then they split it and then the employee has to like,
Some out of pocket.
yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
You okay?
No, I was just going to say, so we have kind of a good, better, best strategy in our boot selection. So we have some voucher business. You guys carry a Tread Fast out there, I've seen. You know, that's a great $139, $149 at retail, right? So most of the business we hear that we deal with is voucher based, right? So they get an X amount of dollars, like, and then if they want, if they've been there a long time, they're smart enough, they're saying, hey, let's say I get $150. Right, a lot of guys will just spend that $150 and they'll be happy with it. But a large portion of them that's been doing this for a long time understand that having the right boot matters. We'll say $30 out of pocket to get a good pair of boots. Yeah, I'm in. Right, we do a lot of railroad business, and it's crazy. The railroad literally only gives them $120, which if you know anything about the railroad and the rock, it's called ballast that they walk on, that will destroy any boot under the sun and get 6 months. So most of the guys are like, nope. I will spend an extra $100 or $60, whatever it is, to get the right product for the right environment.
Mm-hmm. It's a really good question, and that's another question: is do you support them with a voucher? And sometimes people have payroll deduction. So if you go up and over, so if they get a $150 voucher and they want something for $200, they can get it, but then they'll do a payroll deduction, so it doesn't come right out of their pocket, right? But there are people who understand the importance of footwear. Again, it's like a tool, and you want to pay for it. So,
yeah. One thing I would add too is like we think about this, and I think you guys probably would equally well in your sales side. You know, there's new opportunity, new accounts that you're going after, or what's the potential in your base opportunity, the base business that you manage in your territory today. Like if you're all apparel, and you say I got to grow my territory by 20% next year. Well, I would focus on my base opportunity and say, what if I just got 20% increase in footwear next year alone, just in my territory, that I already have a relationship with, already have a good contact with, they already trust me, they trust GME. Like, you know, there's great growth for just your current base business just by adding new categories or new segments into the marketplace where you can just grow organically inside of that account. And like all salespeople, like the larger we become, the more hooks we put into our accounts, right? And the more valuable we become to that consumer.
it's so true, right? So then we set up portals, right? So when your portals, which you're setting up, right, where they come get it, why not put footwear in there? Right? The safety director, they don't want to deal with this stuff,
They don't
right?
wanna
They
touch
just want their people to show up in the right product and not get hurt, right? And then why can't we try to say, hey, can we help you here too? What can we do to help you? You have that much voucher, let us talk and see what we can come up with, a assortment of products that we can put on our portal with you to help your employees get the stuff easy and fast. So I know we're running out of time. Any questions?
Do you guys have good, like, sufficient stock in all of, like your bestseller foods?
Never. No, kidding, no. We try.
Yeah,
right,
at least
of
in top
course.
75.
Absolutely, yeah. We dominate this here, right? And this is where the company started. But this is our fast lace,
Is our fastest
is
growing.
probably 80% of the business, and it's our fastest growing part.
Why is that?
Why is?
Why is that the fastest growing?
Because
Market
for
size.
us, because we've always played here.
We've been a heavy
So
pull
now
on this.
we're coming in here. Here's the thing. I ask reps, well, they only think of us as, we're only good because we do great pull-ons. I go, so I have a picture of this boot with laces on it. I said, now is that boot that's great as a pull-on now suck with laces? Do you know what I'm saying? It's no different.
Yeah.
Quality, comfort, right? Durability. They're all the same except we throw a lace in it. And what we find is now that people are putting our product on, they're becoming advocates, right? And they love the brand because it's no different than this, except it has laces.
But
It's
to
not
answer
like
your
we put
question,
lace in and we put cheap outsole
lace
on
is
it.
the
It's the
largest
same thing.
dollar.
So that's why it's the fastest growing. We have two platforms, which we will get into your company, Rebar and Lift. They are by far our best-selling programs. They're lightweight, they're durable, slip-resistant. They are very good prices too. They're like $180, so they're under $200. They're phenomenal. So to your question, yeah, we're having difficulty keeping that in stock right now, but we're figuring it out, right? So, but yeah. So again, I would just leave you with ask your existing customers, to Heath's point, what are you doing in footwear? And then as you look for new customers, just ask that question. Simply, you never know what kind of door that's going to open up for you.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. We
Yeah.
appreciate it. Thanks for the opportunity.
Yep.
And we're going to see you guys in a year from now, right?
Yep.
And we're going to celebrate a whole new level of business.
Yeah, just so everybody knows, this is not like we're starting from $0. We're already doing about $1
$1 million.
right now. So we're just using that as the springboard to launch up to way bigger numbers.
Mostly just from jeans?
Yeah. Well,
Three.
really, 3 genes.
3 Gs.
So, yeah.
So imagine what could be.
Yeah.
Great potential.
Yeah, great upside.
Yeah, for sure.
But
Yeah.
we appreciate everything you do. If you have any questions, just get to your leadership. We can help you.
Yep.
I'd say if I had enough cards, I'd just hand them out to you. But we'll get you somebody who can help.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
And thanks for pizza. Pizza's in the back corner.
Oh, I thought those were for us.
Hey, you know,
Hey, for sitting here, you get pizza, all right? Thanks, everybody online.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody here.